Despite those concerns about the Delta variant, the Prime Minister is looking to lift travel restrictions, as we've been discussing, for fully vaccinated Americans in mid-August, not a specific date. And one of the country's busiest land borders is Windsor, Detroit. People can only cross for essential reasons. So what would it mean for both sides when that border opens to non-essential land travel? Drew Dilkens is the Mayor of Windsor. He joins me now. Mayor Dilkens, hello.
Hey, Kathleen, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. So I understand, maybe you'll give us the scoop here. I understand you were speaking with the Public Safety Minister, Bill Blair, today. So what did he tell you and what can you tell us?
Well, I'm not sure that I have any breaking news or any scoop for you, but I'm just as interested to know what the plan is. 5 days from now, the current order expires, and I think there are a lot of folks, I know that there are a lot of folks in my community who are anxious to know when they can make plans and when they can make plans and how it's going to roll out. And I think everyone here expects that the next incremental step will be some benefit to fully vaccinated people who are looking to cross the border. But I remind people from a Windsor-Detroit perspective, we are the home to the busiest border crossing between the United States and Canada. Windsor and Detroit are each our respective automotive capitals of our countries. And the supply chains here on the business side are very tightly integrated, but that also applies to the family integration. And I cannot tell you the number of hardship type cases that have been sent to me where people are pleading for me to advocate on their behalf for a reopening of the border. And it's all of the typical things you can think of, from, the birth of the first grandchild to funerals, and then every nuanced relationship situation that can come up. I have been made aware of that over the last 17 months. And you have folks here who are actually flying from Windsor up to Toronto in order to fly back to Detroit to connect with family because the closure is just untenable for this period of time.
So did Minister Blair give you at least an indication of timeline? Because it's all so vague right now, and presumably part of what you want some assurance on is that it's going to go, whatever happens at the land border, obviously you want to know when, but you also want to know it goes two ways. It's not much good, especially for a city like yours, if it's a one-way street.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all bad if it's a one-way street. Don't forget our largest tourist attraction here is Caesars Windsor. So if the Americans can come across and visit our largest attraction, which is opening in a few days, that would be a benefit. And not just Caesars, but all of the businesses, too, that are now allowed to have people back inside the restaurants and other businesses. And so obviously finding some harmony at the border makes a lot of sense so that the rules are clear and people understand what it's going to take to cross in both directions. But I have no clear line of sight. I had a good chat with the minister, and certainly he is sensitive and understands what is going on down here, the temperature on the ground, and what it means to have the border closed and how anxious people are to see the border open in short order.
Well, you brought up the personal relationships, which is, obviously a very real thing, having spent some time in Michigan as well and talking to many people whose family, a lot of their family would be on the sort of the other side of the border in Canada, and people go back and forth all the time. You have a brother in Michigan, so it's personal for you as well. So beyond, the ability to conduct commerce and have people go to the casino, there's a very personal element for a lot of people in your community, right?
Yeah, it's very, very true. And because of the geography, these types of relationships get built up over time. And so it's very common for people to, go to college or university here and maybe pursue a master's over in Detroit and just drive back and forth. That's the situation with my own brother. Went to get a degree down in Michigan and met a lady there and married her. And 30 years later, he's never moved back to Canada. And so that's a very common situation here. And in terms of the understanding of this area, it is not uncommon for people just to go to Detroit for lunch and then come back across the border. And so we are so close to one another that the supply chains on the business side are very tightly integrated, but on the family side, I can't tell you how deep those connections are, because it's just literally like an extension of our backyard here. And having the border closed for this length of time, I think, was understandable at the beginning and understandable even into early 2021. But every day that people get more vaccinated, that our number increases of fully vaccinated people in Canada, the less tolerant Canadians will be, and certainly the less tolerant people in Windsor, Essex will be as well.
Right. I mean, I think it is important to point out that some people are probably still a little bit nervous about this. And there was a recent poll by Angus Reid that the Angus Reid Institute, that there are, Canadians, many Canadians who want to wait until there's at least a 75% full vaccination rate, in other words, double dosed, before welcoming Americans in. So, presumably people also want some assurances about safety being observed. Are you hearing sort of those concerns, and are you sensing any hesitation at all in your community along those lines?
I'm not sensing any hesitation, because I think the sensible people here are understanding that the next logical step is a reopening of the border to fully vaccinated people. And being fully vaccinated plus a couple of weeks after your last shot gives you the most protection that's available at the time. And I think we're going to be contending with the Delta variant and the Lambda variant and whatever else comes up in the Greek alphabet after that. We're going to be contending with this for a long period of time. And we're going to have to just figure out how to deal with this in a sensible way and take appropriate precautions for ourselves. And so whether I'm sitting here in Windsor, whether I'm in Detroit, I've certainly figured out in the last 16 or 17 months how to keep distance, wear a mask, and wash my hands. And I can do that on whatever side of the border I'm on. And I think there are some folks who feel very comfortable today in my community jumping back into a Detroit Tigers game with 20,000 other people. And there'll be a lot of folks who say, you know what, I'm not ready for that for quite a while. And so we're going to have to let people, live their lives and do it in a common sense way. But obviously, the next logical step is creating a pathway for border crossings on the land borders for those who are fully vaccinated. That's what makes the most sense.
All right, Mayor Drew Dilkens, good of you to join me. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.